Friday's episode of The Young and the Restless delivered an emotional roller coaster packed with fear, forgiveness, and hope. As Genoa City continued to reel from Patty Williams' shocking actions, Diane Jenkins Abbott fought for her life, while Jack Abbott desperately searched for a miracle. Meanwhile, family bonds were tested, old wounds began to heal, and one heartfelt reunion reminded viewers that love can survive even the darkest moments. Here's a full recap of everything that happened. Diane's condition takes a critical turn. The episode opened inside the intensive care unit, where Diane remained unconscious after suffering the effects of Digitalis poisoning. Doctors worked around the clock, monitoring every change in her condition, while Jack refused to leave her bedside. Jack looked emotionally exhausted. His usual confidence had disappeared, replaced by guilt and helplessness. Watching the woman he loved connected to machines forced him to confront the possibility that he could lose Diane forever. Kyle, Summer, and several members of the Abbott family gathered at the hospital, anxiously waiting for updates. Nobody wanted to imagine a future without Diane, despite the complicated history she shared with many people in Genoa City. The attending physician finally arrived with cautious optimism. Although Diane remained in serious condition, doctors believed they had identified the exact source of the poisoning. Laboratory tests confirmed toxic levels of Digitalis in her bloodstream, allowing specialists to begin an aggressive treatment plan designed to counter the dangerous medication. The news wasn't a guarantee of recovery, but it represented the first genuine reason for hope. Jack refuses to give up. Jack spent nearly every moment beside Diane's hospital bed. He gently held her hand while recalling the many chapters of their relationship, from youthful romance to painful betrayals, and finally their unexpected second chance together. His emotional speech revealed how much Diane had changed his life. Jack admitted that people often focused on Diane's mistakes, but he had witnessed her determination to become a better woman, mother, and wife. He refused to believe that their story would end because of another person's obsession and revenge. His heartfelt words created one of the episode's most moving scenes. Even though Diane remained unconscious, Jack believed she could hear him. He encouraged her to keep fighting and promised that they still had countless memories left to create together. Kyle battles his own emotions. Kyle struggled throughout the day as conflicting emotions overwhelmed him. Seeing his mother lying unconscious reminded him how fragile life truly is. While Diane and Kyle had endured years of conflict, abandonment, forgiveness, and rebuilding, the possibility of losing her forever suddenly erased many lingering resentments. Claire attempted to comfort Kyle, encouraging him to remain hopeful instead of preparing for tragedy. Kyle admitted he regretted every harsh word they had exchanged over the years. If Diane survived, he intended to appreciate every moment they had together instead of dwelling on the past. The emotional conversation highlighted Kyle's personal growth and reinforced one of the show's strongest themes. Family relationships are rarely perfect, but they are always worth fighting for. Doctors begin the Digitalis treatment. Inside the ICU, medical staff began administering specialized treatment to remove the effects of Digitalis poisoning. The procedure carried risks, and doctors warned Jack that recovery would not happen overnight. Digitalis affects the heart, meaning Diane's condition remained extremely dangerous despite the encouraging diagnosis. Every passing minute became a tense waiting game. Heart monitors echoed throughout the room, while nurses carefully adjusted medications and monitored Diane's vital signs. The suspense kept viewers wondering whether the treatment would work before permanent damage occurred. Michael and Lauren discuss Patty. Elsewhere, Michael Baldwin and Lauren Fenmore Baldwin reflected on Patty's latest violent breakdown. Both struggled with sadness more than anger. Michael remembered the sister he once knew before years of trauma and untreated mental illness transformed her into someone capable of terrifying crimes. Lauren sympathized, but insisted Patty had become too dangerous to ignore. Their conversation emphasized the tragedy surrounding Patty's character. She wasn't simply a villain seeking chaos. She was someone whose fractured reality continued destroying both herself and everyone around her. Michael hoped authorities would find Patty before anyone else became a victim. Ashley offers support. Ashley Abbott returned to support her family during the crisis. Although Ashley and Diane had experienced countless battles over the years, she chose compassion over resentment. Ashley reminded Jack that family members often found strength during life's darkest moments. She encouraged him not to blame himself for circumstances beyond his control. Jack appreciated his sister's support, admitting that guilt had become almost unbearable. Ashley insisted Diane's survival depended on medical science and Diane's own determination, not on Jack carrying impossible burdens. Their sibling conversation demonstrated the unwavering loyalty that has long defined the Abbott family. A small sign of hope. Late in the afternoon, doctors noticed subtle improvements. Diane's heartbeat became steadier. Her blood pressure stabilized. Most importantly, her body appeared to be responding positively to the Digitalis treatment. Although she remained unconscious, the medical team considered the changes encouraging. Jack immediately noticed a slight movement in Diane's fingers. It was tiny, almost imperceptible, but enough to give everyone renewed hope. Kyle smiled for the first time all day. Summer quietly wiped away tears. For the Abbott family, that single movement felt like a miracle. Jack receives the forgiveness he needed. One of the episode's emotional highlights arrived when Jack privately confessed that he felt responsible for everything Diane had endured. He questioned every decision leading up to the tragedy and wondered whether he could have prevented Patty's attack. Ashley firmly rejected that thinking. She reminded Jack that love sometimes means accepting what cannot be controlled. Kyle echoed those sentiments, assuring his father that nobody blamed him. Instead of criticism, Jack received something he desperately needed: forgiveness. The emotional release allowed years of pressure and guilt to begin lifting from his shoulders. For the first time since Diane collapsed, Jack looked capable of believing that better days might still lie ahead. Diane finally opens her eyes. As evening approached, Jack once again sat beside Diane's bed. He quietly told her he loved her and asked her to come back to him. Moments later, the impossible happened. Diane slowly opened her eyes. Confused but alive, she looked directly at Jack. The room immediately filled with emotion. Jack squeezed her hand as tears streamed down his face. Doctors rushed in to assess her condition, while assuring everyone this represented a promising breakthrough. Although Diane remained weak and required continued monitoring, she had survived the most dangerous stage of the poisoning. The reunion between Jack and Diane became the emotional payoff viewers had been waiting for throughout the episode. Without saying many words, their shared look communicated relief, gratitude, forgiveness, and enduring love. Looking ahead, Friday's episode closed on a hopeful note, but several questions remain unanswered. Patty is still at large, meaning Genoa City isn't safe yet. Diane faces a long road to recovery, and investigators continue piecing together exactly how the poisoning unfolded. Meanwhile, Jack and Diane's reunion may strengthen the Abbott family like never before. Having nearly lost each other, they seem determined not to waste the second chance they've been given. As the story moves forward, fans can expect emotional recovery, lingering danger, and fresh confrontations once Patty resurfaces. One thing is certain: Friday's installment reminded viewers why The Young and the Restless continues to captivate audiences. By blending suspense with heartfelt family drama, the episode delivered a powerful message that forgiveness, resilience, and love can shine even in life's darkest moments.